What's happening? Welcome in. It's Boston has entered the chat. He's
Yes,
Travis
Lord.
Thomas. I'm George Balekji. We're in the PNC Bank studio.
Yep.
Double T, how we doing today?
I'm doing great, man. I'm doing great. I love being here with you, George. It's just the best. We were actually, let's take you behind the curtain.
Mm-hmm.
Before this show began, we were just letting our bromance unfurl. And I was just telling George how much he means to me, man. It's great doing the show
Appreciate
with you, brother.
my man. Appreciate you. Except for when you beat me in bets and I'm taking shots at 8 o'clock in the morning.
Hey, you know, these things happen. That's what happens when you bet against me.
I should have went double or nothing on that Sunday night game.
It's not too late. We could bet some more.
Speaking of Sunday night, we'll be previewing this upcoming Sunday night game, Cowboys, 49ers. More importantly, we'll be talking Bill Belichick and more criticism he has on the Patriots offensive line, but he is not the person that can point and say, I did a good job there. It's not my fault. We'll get into that. We'll also hit on the latest from Bronny with the Lakers. Apparently, the Lakers are saying they won't force minutes towards Bronny James's future.
Lies.
And also the latest black eye on the Penn State football program. But let's first get into it, talking Bill Belichick. On his latest appearance on the Coach podcast, it's him, it's Michael Lombardi, it's Matt Patricia. And going through and talking about the struggles for the Patriots offense, at one point, Michael Lombardi, who's a guest on Foxborough Rush, so make sure to tune in to see him every Friday there. He said their offensive lines have really struggled all year, struggled to pass protect, which is true. They allow one of the highest pressure rates in the NFL. And he said it was a problem going into the season. It was a problem last year. And Bill said, no doubt, both lines, the Patriots can't get the same 5 guys on the field. That's been an issue. Onwenu playing guard or tackle. 2 guys they signed in the offseason aren't even on the team anymore. This is a Patriots team, as Bill Belichick, though, criticizes the offensive line. And he pointed out what makes a soft football team. Can't run the ball, can't stop the run, can't cover the kick game, right? And he made sure when he pointed out them unable to stop the run, he said, well, that was a top 5 or number 1 run defense in the NFL last year. This year, they're 20th at best.
Claims it's the same team, but not exactly. But
Christian Barmore, no Juwan
but
Bentley.
go off, Bill. Go off.
He made sure when he's critiquing what makes him soft, he didn't bring up the run game.
Right.
Because in 2023, they were 22nd in yards per carry. In 2022, they were 20th. 24th in rushing yards, and last in runs of 20+. Now, the Patriots' run game hasn't been good at all this season.
No, it has not.
I'm not going to act like it's been improved. But if you look at the struggles, you go back to the 2022 draft, they draft Cole Strange in the first round after trading Shaq Mason, which they didn't need to do.
Bill's move.
Yep. Cole Strange been nothing but injured and has struggled to come along as well.
A reach at that when they drafted him. Let's not gloss over that.
Oh, my God, 1,000%.
A reach.
1,000%. 2023 drafted Jake Andrews, Sidy So, and Antonio Mafi. Andrews has been injured. Sidy So has been benched. Antonio Mafi's no longer with the team.
Interesting, Bill.
So just seeing this, and then if you even go from their 2021 and 2022 draft, 17 players were drafted. Only 5 are currently on the team. Only 2 of those 5 are contributors. Marcus Jones, a starting corner. Ramondre Stevenson, a starting running back. Cole Strange on the pup. Tyquan Thornton's been benched. Christian Barmore is on the pup as well. So go back to 2021, and as recent as 2023, he gives these criticisms and says, well, yeah, you know, the offensive line struggle. They struggle on both sides. A lot of whiffs in the draft room.
Yeah, well, that's the thing. Like, it's easy now to sit from an ivory tower and take shots at the guy whose job it is now. I know you're upset about the way things ended around here, and you had to kind of play the game that it was mutual and everyone's happy, and we all know you weren't happy, okay? You weren't happy when you were happy. So we damn sure know on the way out you weren't happy. But forget the offensive line. This entire roster, the blood is on your hands, Bill. Like, come on, bro. And so to sit now in an ivory tower and take shots at Gerard Mayo, it's really coming. I said this the other day. It's coming from a hurt place, George. It's not like factually. If he just critiqued Gerard Mayo, the coach. Hey, on this third, I mean, like in the weeds. On this 3rd and 6, they should have. I wonder what the philosophy was to do X, Y, and Z. They should have did A, B, C. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
I could accept that because I want your experience level and your goatness all over that. Tell me what Gerard Mayo's not doing as a coach that he should do in this scenario. I'll take that all day long. But when you start taking shots at the roster and like, bro, come on, bro. Like, you built this. So I don't like this. A lot of this stuff, and I know Mike Lombardi's is family to us. He comes on Foxborough Rush. We appreciate it. It always does numbers because he's always saying some wild things that go viral for us.
Yeah.
But at the same time, it's like, okay, we get it. Gerard Mayo is absolutely struggling. He does appear to be in over his head.
Yeah.
But let's also, while we are criticized, this is what I try to do anyways. So I'm not practicing anything I don't preach here, right? Like I'm practicing what I preach. On one hand, I can be critical of a Gerard Mayo, right? We all can. We can see the games. But on the other hand, too, you have to give not excuses but reasons sometimes. So Bill Belichick sitting here talking about the roster is insulting to me. Because it's like, bro, like you built this roster. Gerard Mayo inherited this. Now, granted, he's got to take some responsibility for taking the job, wanting the job, being the heir apparent. Like you were in the building too, Gerard Mayo. You knew this roster was garbage, and you still took, right? So I'm not like letting him off the hook here. But Bill being so critical of the roster gives me, it rubs me the wrong way. I don't like it because it's like, no one on this show that they're on is going to hold Bill accountable to that. Like, I would love to ask a follow-up. The journalist in me would be like, okay, so Bill, let me ask you this, because you're right about the roster and the numbers. But, like, just like George laid out, this draft class, this draft pick, this player, this was all under your regime.
Yep.
So, Coach, what do you suggest Gerard Mayo does with your roster at this point? Like, there needs to be some accountability to Bill, too. Because all I'm seeing is one-sidedness. That's what I'm saying. Even when I'm critical of Gerard Mayo, I try to look at, well, what can he do to improve? We talked about this on Foxborough Rush, too, which is available on YouTube, Spotify. We keep bringing it up. Apple, Amazon, wherever else podcasts are found. Check it out. But you and I do this a lot, this exercise of, okay, critical of Gerard Mayo. He's not doing this. But right now in the interim, you can't fix the offensive line, but maybe they can commit to the run game. Maybe they can – we come up with solutions of what we think, our opinion. I would love Bill Belichick, in one hand, to be critical of Gerard Mayo, but what should he do?
Yeah.
And I don't love it. That's why I feel like it's personal with Bill.
It is.
Right? And that comes across, and I don't like it. It's very bitter, old man. I don't like it.
He's always been personal.
Yeah.
He's taken everything personal. For the guy that acts like he doesn't pay attention to the media, know it. Yeah, Bertrand Najarian, who's basically his right-hand man, literally his job was to tell him everything that's said in the media.
That's right.
Across everywhere. And I said at the moment that Robert Kraft said that he fired Bill, because that guy needs to stop talking. The moment he said fired Bill, all bets were off.
Yeah.
And these criticisms going at the head coach that called the team soft, Gerard Mayo and all this is the innocent he's not innocent, but he's the bystander.
Yes.
Because everything's directed at Robert Kraft.
Right.
Bill Belichick's being very pointed with his criticisms, making sure to call stuff out. Because at the end of the day, what is he critiquing? Both the offensive linemen they signed this offseason aren't on the team. Chukwueze Okorafor and Nick Leverett. Who signed them? Elliot Wolf. Who used to be the GM? Bill Belichick.
That's right.
So you get a new GM. Both offensive linemen he signed are not even on the team.
So that's what this is really about. Kraft.
The other
Wolf.
one, the GM you picked drafted another one. He can't even play left tackle. All the shuffling, they can't get the same five out there. Yeah, it's injuries, but also your GM that built this offensive line can't figure out if Mike Onwenu's a guard or a tackle. I knew where he was. I was having those offensive lines working. I was rushing the ball at a top 5 rate in the NFL. Even when the offense was absolute crap, I was still running at a top 5 rate. He's going at Robert Kraft and all this. Robert Kraft is the one that pissed him off. Bill didn't want to leave. Didn't give Robert a reason to keep him, but did not want to go. He did not want to leave. That was not a mutual parting of ways. He was fired.
That's right.
He wanted to keep getting that $20 million a year check. He wanted to break that record, and he wanted to retire as all-time winningest coach in football history, and he wanted to keep running the entire show. It's the same thing when Darnell Mooney, I think a pass was called back against him, and it was Monday Night Football, and Bill right away goes, oh, that's one of the 3 players they illegally acquired in the offseason, handed out fines, penalized, because he interviewed for the Atlanta job, and they went with Raheem Morris, and they didn't pick Bill Belichick because Belichick wanted full control. So he's going to keep doing these things. He's going to be personal. And when he's making that criticism, He's going, that's one of the 3 players they illegally acquired because the GM, Arthur Blank, chose over me, did it that way. That's how it is with everything. He's very calculated with everything he says.
What's the most petty job opening you see where Bill can stick it to the Patriots?
Jets. But he won't.
He can't go back there, can he?
Nope.
How about Bills? McDermott.
Yeah,
Bills lose in the wild card round. I don't know. They get rid of McDermott, right? It's got to be time for him, doesn't it? At some point, am I wrong? If the Bills lose wild card weekend, you keep Sean McDermott? I don't think you do. And remember, he made those weird comments, and he's put his foot in his mouth. He's got a couple.
No. Pettiest job, Cowboys, because Jerry Jones hates Robert Kraft. Jerry Jones, there is that quote where he told Robert to shut the F up or like sit the F down, something like that. And the whole, when that piece came out of why Robert Kraft isn't in the Hall of Fame, and it was basically like the owners are holding, Orchids of Asia against him, and how badly he wants to be in is why people turn off. The guy that wrote that is putting out a biography on Jerry Jones. Like, there's a reason that access was given. So if he goes to the Cowboys,
and he hates Kraft, to your point, if he feels a way to Kraft, he'll want to stick it to him in the most personal way. So it's not necessarily the Bills, which is on the field, we beat you. But right now, hell, anybody's beating the damn Patriots for the foreseeable future. So so to your point, it would be more personal. Especially, think about this too. This is fascinating conversation to me. I love pettiness. Think about this. This is not prime Jerry Jones. This is not Jerry Jones in the 90s wanting too much credit and running Jimmy Johnson out of town, right?
This is he's still hands-on, Jerry.
Yeah, he's still shrewd. They still won Super Bowls, I think, with Barry Switzer or whatever. Like, he's still Jerry, right? And they made billions of dollars.
Jerry.
This is senile. I mean, Jerry's way off the reservation now.
Yep.
So for Bill to go there now, especially at this stage of Jerry's life, wow, that would be pretty petty.
It was, he told Robert not to F with him.
That's what it was.
He said, don't F with me. Kraft replied, excuse me? Wait, I'm sorry.
What was this over?
I'm sorry.
This was the massage thing?
No.
Well, you said it. You said Orchids of Asia.
They were fighting over which room to go into?
Yeah, like what happened here?
No. In 2022, there was an NFL owners meeting.
Okay.
In New York City. They voted 31-1 to open negotiations on a new contract with Roger Goodell.
Oh.
But they got in a heated exchange. Kraft joined the overwhelming majority in strong support for the measure, with Jones, the lone dissenter in the owner's only session, eventually telling Kraft, Robert, don't F with me. But I said the 4-letter word, to which Kraft replied, excuse me. And Jerry Jones said back, don't mess with me, boy. That's what it was.
I'm not going to lie. Your Jerry was on point. Your Bob Kraft was a little Margaret Thatcher. I'm not sure what. Jerry.
I'm watching Game of Thrones for like the 7th time, and I'm deep in season 6 where, it was more of in season 5. There's Aegon Targaryen. I can't do Kraft.
Which season was Hold Door? Which season was that?
Hold the door. I think it's season 6. Am I in season? Yeah.
I didn't even watch that
season
show.
Season 8's coming fast. Maybe it was season 7 actually.
I don't even watch that show.
But so,
who was the dude with the sword and then all the army was running at him?
Snow.
That was Jon Snow. That's a Winter is Coming dude.
No, yeah.
That dude's tough.
Everyone says Winter is Coming. You'd like Jon Snow.
All right, it's no spoiler alert. The show's 10 years old. It's been off the air forever.
Everyone
Does he
dies
die
at the end?
He dies?
No, he doesn't.
He doesn't?
He doesn't.
You sure?
Yeah, he doesn't.
I
had to think about it.
I like John. I might get a Jon Snow shirt, even though I didn't watch the show. But go on.
The pettiest job would be the Cowboys.
All right.
Because of that right there.
Then sign me up. Bill's going to the Cowboys.
And on top of it, where Robert Kraft comes out and said, I should have had more checks and balances, and Bill wouldn't relinquish power, Jerry's not going to give up power.
No.
So again, the pettiest thing you can do is go to the Cowboys and go, and he'll come out with some comment of, I think Jerry's the best owner in sports.
It would have to be.
He's done so much for the league.
Yeah.
And he's a great general manager, so I have no problem. That would be petty.
That would be petty and also authentic. You know why? Because for that relationship to actually work, like tangible, not just to get back at Bob Kraft, but from a Cowboys perspective, it would have to be that kind of mutual Bill and give and take between Bill and Jera.
Or last one. It would be the Eagles because the Eagles beat the Patriots in the Super Bowl.
No. I think the hate
Giants.
for Jerry would be deeper. Like the Eagles, that's one Super Bowl out of a jillion for Robert Kraft. It can't be that serious.
That was the last Super Bowl they lost.
And then but still. And then the Giants gig, that's more of a Bill dream.
Bill would love it.
Right.
But as we saw, the Mariners came out. They're not moving on for Joe Shane or
I'm
Brian
just saying
Dable.
in terms of
No,
petty.
but I get it.
In terms
I get
of
it.
for petty meter.
Yeah.
I think you're right. I think you're onto something with the Cowboys.
Let me flip the switch on having fun. Giants would be petty. Cowboys would be the most petty.
Yes.
Bills and Cowboys.
Bills and Cowboys petty meter. I think Cowboys are worse. Because Bills,
I'm trying to think of another team.
if he goes to the Bills and they beat up on the Patriots twice a year, and like, what's the difference? Like, there's no difference between McDermott and Belichick. It's just Belichick, I guess, is the coach of the Bills. If he goes to Dallas, if Kraft really does hate Jera, then that one's going to sting.
Think about Buffalo. Drew Bledsoe went there. Lawyer Malloy went there.
Yeah.
Bill Belichick goes there. Last team to beat the Patriots in a playoff game, Buffalo Bills.
They smoked them, too.
Ran them off the field.
Team
that's never
petty.
won a Super Bowl, Buffalo Bills.
This feels like a poll or something. We got to ask the people.
What would be the
pettiest job? And then your choices are Bills, Cowboys, other.
Yeah.
And then
fill in the blank.
Yeah.
Reply with a
fill in the blank.
I like it.
I like that. Digital team, you're welcome.
Real quick before we move on, I want to shout out DeMarcus Covington.
Okay.
Because he was asked about Bill Belichick's run defense criticism.
Yeah.
This is what DeMarcus Covington said, word for word.
Okay.
Bill has done a lot of great things for me. He brought me here. We've been to the highest valley, been to the lowest. I know our run defense, it's going to get better. I'll take that accountability.
Wow.
Those last 4 words.
Yeah.
That's
How
what
about
you
that?
want.
We want that from Gerard Mayo.
Exactly.
We're not getting it.
I want to shout out DeMarcus Covington there. It's going to be a tough get. Head over to the latest episode of Foxborough Rush. We had Michael Lombardi join the show. We also had Connor Rogers of SNY. And to his point, Jets can't run the ball, but watch for Breece Hall to get plenty of touches as he was great in the pass game against the Steelers because that's an extension of the run game. And no matter what, the Jets with all these playmakers, Garrett Wilson, Breece Hall, Devontae Adams, Tyler Conklin, Alan Lazard, put the ball in space to your playmakers, watch them work. Let's see what the Patriots can do against Breece Hall.
I believe the Jets can run the ball. I put the Jets and the Patriots in the same category. They have the personnel to run the ball. They just don't have the commitment to the damn run. And it drives me nuts.
The Jets attempt some of the most passes in the NFL per game.
It's insane.
And when you draw the comparisons too, as well on how they match up, and that's why it's so important for me because that should be something that the Jets focus in on. The Jets are 29th in yards per rush, 3.9 yards per carry is what they average.
Mm-hmm.
The Patriots allow 4.6 yards per carry.
Jeez.
So obviously they give more than what you normally get.
Yeah.
So you're going to have that strength. And they allow 136 rushing yards per game. That's so much.
Breece Hall.
Is that number
If you
right?
have Breece Hall in fantasy, congratulations.
Look,
He's about to run and catch.
This Patriots defense, 23rd in scoring, 25th in yards, 23rd in yards per play,
Mm-hmm.
17th in yards per rush, 21st in completion percentage, 25th in completion percentage allowed, 25th in QBR allowed, 95.4, 25th, 7th worst in the NFL.
Bruh.
For a team that attempts the 3rd most passes per game in the NFL, it's going to be interesting.
Well, it's going to be boring, but it's going to be interesting. It's going to be an interesting, boring-ass, ugly game. Right? Don't you think? Every Patriots game. I mean, it's interesting. I'll give them that. But the games suck.
They had 4 interesting games this year. Bengals, Seahawks.
Bengals
Texans,
was actually a good game.
Texans. I'll say fun. Texans was fun.
Texans
Jaguars
was fun.
wasn't fun.
Jaguars was not fun. Miami was the
Worst.
opposite. What's the opposite of fun? Hell? That's what it was. Texans was only fun because it was Drake's first start. Mm-hmm. It wasn't really that fun. Like, they got their ass beat. Mm-hmm. I think, forget fun. Let's go good. We've only had one good game this year.
Texans.
Bengals. Texans was not a good game. What?
Yeah.
What was that? Ethan, can you get in my ear? Was that not a 40 burger?
41-21.
Yeah, that's not fun.
Yeah.
That's not a good game.
Well, you said good, not fun.
Well, good. It's not a good game. I think the Bengals game was good.
Yes, the Bengals. Yes. No, you're
what
right.
was the
1,000%.
Seattle score? I don't. All these games.
23-20 in overtime.
Okay, that's
but that
a good
wasn't
game.
No, it wasn't.
No?
Because the offense completely fell off a cliff the second half.
I don't even remember. That game feels like
The
a lifetime
defense was getting
ago.
diced up by JSN. Could have contained Geno Smith. After you had your struggles
Yeah.
as well. Yep.
Yeah, that game sucked. You're right. So then that's it. The Jets one was fun.
Jets was awful.
It was fun though because that was
Aaron Rodgers.
That was a game when Saleh tried to hug Rodgers
and he pushed him away.
And I told you that day, I was like, you can't trust Rodgers. San Fran sucked.
Not fun. They got ran over.
Yeah, that's it. Bengals. Congratulations.
Think about it. 10-6 loss to the Colts. 6-0 loss to the Chargers in the same season. That 15-10 loss to the Dolphins. They've had the worst game teams can't have a nightmare of having. Like once every 5 years. They've had 3 of them in less than 2 seasons.
Right.
And those are just coming off the top of my head. Just go to so many games last season.
So true.
So many games last season.
God, man.
All right, let's get into the NBA.
No wonder people around here drink so damn much. I mean, the Patriots drive you to it.
Well, those pumpkin beers with the cinnamon rim are good.
Oh.
Yep. I agree. I know. Say less.
Shout outs to Shipyard.
So, NBA Insider, ESPN's Jeremy Wu is reporting, Lakers won't, quote, force feed Bronny James minutes at expense of the team. It would be a surprise if Bronny gets consistent usage becoming the norm. And this is after Bronny checked in, 4 minutes left in the first half. Lakers up 16 over the Timberwolves. Most significant, he checked in at the same exact time as his dad. And he was the only player to come off the bench and play less than 3 minutes. It should, that's good. The Lakers won't force feed him minutes because this is a team that isn't that good, is going to be on the bubble to make it into the playoffs.
Yeah.
And Bronny James, at this point in time, is not an everyday. He's not an NBA player right now.
Thank you.
Not even every day. He's not a contributor in the NBA.
Thank you.
Can he develop to that point? Yes, I won't write that off. But he's 6'1". He's not a point guard. He's defensively a liability because of his size.
So why won't you write it off? You're naming all the reasons to write it off.
Because he could develop into an NBA player.
He's going to be 6'8"?
In the G League, you could be less than 6'3" and be an NBA player.
Hold on. 6'1", not a point guard, right?
Right, but could he develop into a point guard? Can he still work on his game? Yes. He's still young.
You're higher on him than me.
I'm not going to write off that kid like any other prospect. I wouldn't look. Well, they'll never be an NBA player. Take Bronny off of it. They'll never be. Why not? If he's that young, just got into the league. What's going against him is he should be getting college experience, not G League experience.
Yeah.
So, but this coming out, when I saw that, I saw the moment of Bronny and LeBron. LeBron mic'd up, talking to his son, as he's getting ready to game. I'm like, all right, this is cool. And I go, wait, did he get in? Because I fell asleep. I didn't watch that game. I didn't care.
It's late night.
Exactly. And watch that scene. I see them both checking in together, and I look, 4 minutes left in the first half.
Yeah.
They were up 16, which in the NBA can disappear like that.
Sure can.
It was a photo op. It was that moment.
That's exactly
Night
right.
one, LeBron at home said, let me get this with my son.
Yeah.
Now these are coming out. He's going to go G League and play.
You can go further than that. It goes back to the reports, which I believe, that the Lakers called teams around the league before the draft.
Oh, yeah.
And said, do not draft
him.
Bronny. And it's like, okay. Most teams were like, well, you weren't, bro. But
I said they should.
It goes back that far. That's why, the Lakers saying they are not going to feed Bronny minutes at the expense of the team is utter bullshit. Because, from the beginning, this has been a get Bronny to L.A. to appease his dad. Mm-hmm. And then I did see the moment when they checked in together. And I am the biggest hater of this whole thing. And I even have to admit, it was cool. As a dad, for a couple reasons. As a dad cool. Seeing that and imagining that, with a son, wow, that's got to be crazy for LeBron. So I was thinking from a dad perspective. But also, they did it for the gram. It is cool. It's a cool thing that you made history in this way. Yeah. But now the best thing you could do for the kid is if you're saying you're not going to force minutes, because you've already forced everything. What do you mean? You force drafted him. You forced this photo op, as George called it, which is brilliant and true. But okay, now why don't you do something for the kid? Send his ass to the G League. George is right. He really should be in college, especially with the health. Remember, he went through the health thing.
Yeah, that's the thing, too.
He should have wanted to come. That's what I mean. If he didn't have that, and he just wanted to jump to the league, I would say he's making a mistake, but I would get it. But having that, hang over your college career, I wouldn't want that if I was him. I'd want to come back, play a year, get to March Madness, show that I can boogie here, right? And then get drafted. But, listen, they can say all this stuff. We're not going to force minutes. you're going to do whatever LeBron says. How's that sound? That's who's running your franchise.
Yeah.
So if LeBron says the best thing for the kid is to send him to G League, develop him, then do it. But the problem here now, George, is even if that, which is best case scenario, let's let the kid develop, right? You've wasted a draft pick. You've wasted a roster spot. Mm-hmm. You're not that damn good.
Yeah.
Like the Lakers don't have that luxury to just be.
Yeah.
Like they're not. Who do they think they are? The Celtics can do that. You can't do that. And by the way, the Celtics are so well run, they would never do that. They're not drafting Deuce. Sorry. Like it's not happening. Unless Deuce can help us win. Brad's going to be like, I'm sorry. Deuce can hang out. We could do whatever you want, bro.
He can get a ring.
Yeah, but like we're not drafting him, and he's not going to play here. So I look at this as like, this is BS. We're not going to force minutes. You're going to do whatever the hell LeBron tells you to do. That's what's going to happen. So if he goes to the G League and develops, which is the right move, it's because Dad said it.
Tatum, his birthday's during the season. I think he's going to turn 27.
Are you thinking about Deuce now?
Tatum's still playing when he's 38?
He might be.
I don't know how old Deuce is.
LeBron is?
Yeah. He doesn't play above the. He's athletic. He doesn't play above the rim. Like his body.
If Brad is here, he ain't drafting. Hell no.
It goes back. I don't even care that they use the draft pick on him because like how many guys picked at that slot are going to be anything?
Well, they need help.
Yeah.
How could you say that? All these great players
are
taken late.
That brings no offense.
Jokic, freaking Draymond, all these great.
I'm talking like that. Right, but like that specific slot, was he 53rd?
I'm just saying. You can't say that.
I agree. Same thing of I wasn't going to write him off to get better. It's fair. From the jump, the second he committed to going to the NBA and going to the draft, I was like, he was a bench player on the 9th worst team in the Pac-12, and he got lost on a college floor.
Jeez.
That's it. And that's why I thought he shouldn't be in the draft. And that's why I don't think he should be in the NBA. I said he should go back to college, play for a coach like Eric Musselman at USC now, go to Arkansas, play for Cal.
Yeah.
Go somewhere where you like the coach and he'll develop you.
Yep.
But minutes. Also, on the reverse on this, it's like he's going to be down in the G League now. You think those fans in the G League are going to be mature and respectful of him? No. It's opening him up to so much worse. If he just stayed in college for another year and kept playing, didn't put this pressure on him, it'd be different. But
that ship is sailed. Why he's better off in the G League.
The moment you watch it, it's cool. But then you look out and then you go, it was manufactured. There was a lot put into that. And it's forcing, I feel like it's forcing the kid in Bronny James into a spot. I don't know if he even wants that attention.
It doesn't seem like it. It doesn't seem like it.
I don't know.
Now some of this is young, so I want to be fair. He's a young man, right?
Played 1 year in college.
But like it does when he talks, it doesn't seem he's not thrilled. Like, you know what I mean? Like he's appreciative, but you could tell this feels very dad centric, which is fine. But my thing is, if you're gonna do this, do right by the kid. Don't just have him taking up a roster spot and not playing any minutes. And even if he plays, he's not gonna make an impact. Develop them. Send them to get developed.
Yep.
You've had the moment now, which I appreciate. I'm not even hating. I was hating, and then I saw the moment, and it was beautiful. I'm not gonna lie.
Yeah.
It gave me the tinglies. But the moment's over. You guys shared it. You made history. Do right by the kid. Go develop in the G League. And I hear you about heckling and all that. What do you think these NBA cities are going to do? I mean, he can't even play. So go get heckled in the G League. Work on your game.
Yep.
That's all I'm saying. But I just think the Lakers could have used. It's the same. I've told you this in Milwaukee. It's the same thing. The Bucks are not good enough to have all these G-damn roster spots for all these Antetokounmpos that can't play. Okay, you got the one. You have Thanos Antetokounmpo. You got him. But his brothers coming with him are doing you no favors. And look at them now. Their team stinks, and they're dependent on Giannis and Dame, who can't stay healthy because they didn't fill out the roster. You're giving up these spots to these Antetokounmpos. You could have had 2 guys to help you. You can't have these guys on the bench just yelling, Yanni! Like, it's not helping. Give me some minutes. I need some boards, some points, assist. Can you dive for a loose ball? Can you jump into the crowd?
Can you go on the floor and not make a mistake right away? Can you not foul?
Like, you got to help me. These other Antetokounmpos ain't doing nothing.
Help me. Lakers even signed Alex at one point, hoping to get Giannis.
Oh, my God. Like, can we just stop? If I have a team, George, I promise you, I'm not playing no favorites with nobody. Can you help me win right now? Yes or no? If the answer is no, bye. I don't give a damn what your last name is, and that goes for my kid, too. Okay? My son, I'll tell him to his face, you ain't making my team because you ain't good enough. Bye.
Different level of power, but like Dwayne Wade didn't force Zaire onto an NBA team.
Facts.
He's with the Utah G League, which he's a partial owner of, but still stands.
But kids getting developed there, though, right?
Yeah. See, yeah.
The defense rests, Your Honor.
Stavros and Petros are Greek names. Is Thanos a Greek name? It should be.
It should be.
It's not.
It should be.
If I met a Greek guy named Thanos, I'd be like, oh, nice to meet you.
I believe it. Thanos Antetokounmpo.
When I was in Greece, everyone I met thought I was messing with him. Like, hey, I'm George. And then we had to go rent a car.
Yeah.
Like, hey, we need your driver's license. I'm like, all right, here's my driver's license. And the guy that was helping us like get everything done, awesome dude, I forget his name. He looked at me. He goes, your name's really George? And I go, yeah. He goes, Malaka. I thought you were messing with me. Malaka is like mother effer, but in a good way or a bad way.
Nice.
Like as you're driving, you're like, this effing guy, or like this effing guy.
Right.
That's the.
Do you know that
our
Thanos
producer
is
Ethan
Greek?
is saying Thanos is Greek. So it was Greek before the cartoon came along?
That's gangster.
Interesting.
Thanos. By the way, do you know my bucket list place to go in the world before my life is over is Santorini? Did I ever tell you that?
No.
That's my bucket. I broke up with a girl once in college because we were dreaming. We were having these big dream conversations. Mm-hmm. She was like, what's the one place in the world you want to visit? Perfect world. You got all the money. She painted a beautiful picture. And I said, I want to be on the beach in Santorini overlooking like a cliff. You know, Santorini with the cliffs. And she laughed. She's like, you can pick anywhere in the world and you pick Santorini. I was like, oh, it's over. We're not. This isn't going to work.
You broke up over, you were looking for an excuse.
I was.
Okay.
And she gave it to me. But also, that's how much of me. Yeah, like I want to go. That's where I want to go.
Shout out to our producer, Ethan, helping us out, finding out Thanos.
Facts.
Is Greek name. That's an awesome name.
Facts. Shout outs to all the Greeks out there. I go to Greek festivals. I have the time of my life
food.
every year.
Gyro or Euro? What do you call it?
Gyro.
Gyro.
It's definitely a
I think
gyro.
I'm wrong.
Ethan, can we get he's got to give us authentic. Is it gyro or gyro? It's got to be gyro. He said gyro. Thank you.
All right. I'll hear how people pronounce Hemos and others.
Thanos.
All right. Shifting to a serious subject.
All right.
So, Penn State's back in the news.
Yeah.
For not good reasons with their football program.
Oh, again?
So, two players, Jameel Lyons and Kavion Keys, were charged with felony charges, including rape.
Jeez.
This happened back in July. Both were placed on interim suspension at the end of July to, quote, deal with the personal matter.
All right.
Few days after the suspension, neither were enrolled at the university any longer. They didn't participate in fall practices. They haven't been on the team. No players or coaches spoke about them.
Yep.
But then the reports came out on the charges that were filed against them. And James Franklin, as they get ready to face Wisconsin, is speaking to the media for the first time.
Big game.
And here's how James Franklin handled it. We have a video for you guys right here.
Guys, how we doing?
Good. This is obviously a serious and sensitive subject. I know Greg read that, but we haven't heard anything from you on this.
John, we released the university statement. All right, do I need to read the statement again?
If you would like.
All right. Regarding the two former Penn State football players, we released a statement yesterday, and our program and athletic department will have no further comment. If you need the statement, please reach out to me or Chris.
Hey guys, any questions?
James, at what point in the summer were you aware that these guys were not going to get on the team?
Again, guys, the university already released a statement. If you need the statement, reach out to me or Chris. We'll have no further comment.
Are there questions about Wisconsin?
Yeah.
Yes.
There are questions about Wisconsin. Please keep your questions to Wisconsin.
Hey guys.
So, like, the university handled it well to a point. you put them away from the team while they're facing these charges, because I covered Quintez Cephas in Wisconsin, and he was wrongfully accused and wrongfully vilified as well. Like, lost a year of his college experience. Turned out he's innocent, came back and played for the team. But the university wrongly replied to what happened to Quintez Cephas, kicking him off the team, and then it turned out he's innocent. But if you're the head coach of a football program, you can't go up there. You can read the statement. You can say you guys saw the statement. For him to like step away and only taking questions about Wisconsin, and then you're the biggest face. You're probably the highest paid employee in the state. You're the biggest face of the university, the biggest face of the program. You're the most famous person affiliated with Penn State. You can't answer the questions from the media. They're going to ask, did you know about this? Did you know what was going on when you suspended them, kicked them off the team? Just James Franklin couldn't face the questions. And I get it. There's a statement there. He's not going to say more. But it's baffling to me to see a head coach handle it that way. And the university, too, same thing of like, talk to him and be like, go field the questions. It'll be a tough 5 minutes. You get it out of the way, and that's it.
This is a problem, I think. And I appreciate you actually bringing up that you covered a situation in Wisconsin where a young man – they jumped the gun, I guess, in that case, and moved as if he were already guilty, and then he was proven innocent, and they kind of had to walk it back and let him back on the team. I appreciate you bringing that up because I'm not as familiar with the skeletons in Wisconsin's closet as I am Penn State. We are all very aware of what happened with this Penn State program over the years, going back to the Joe Pa, Jerry Sandusky nonsense. That was disgusting. And Joe Pa, you know, I know he's not here to defend himself, but there is no defending yourself. Like he turned a blind eye to a lot of things for a long time and only addressed it when he had to. And by then it was too late. And by then he was guilty too of covering up, you know, or not doing enough. In this case, I think James Franklin really dropped the ball because you are at Penn State and because of that history. And you are, as George said, you're the face of Penn State. Like, you're the guy. You've been there a long time. You haven't won any big games to save your arse, but you've been there for a long time. You are the man. I disagree with you a little. I don't think he has to stand up there and answer questions. That part of it I get. The walk-off I don't love, though.
Yes.
He could have very easily read the same damn statement that my man read.
Exactly.
When he walked off, and dude, I guess the SID, I'm guessing, read that. What is a paragraph? If that, it was 3 or 4 sentences. James Franklin could have did that, and then as the questions rolled in, he could have repeated that statement. Or he could have said, I just told you what I told you. I'm here to answer questions about Wisconsin, and none of us could really bat an eye. The other thing James Franklin missed an opportunity to do, in my opinion, in that clip we watched, and for our listeners that you heard, he's walking away from the podium not answering, right? He missed an opportunity to distance the program from these young men. See, what James Franklin did benefited James Franklin. In that moment, he walked away. Oh, I don't want anything to do with this. SID, take it. That's a mistake, bro. You are Penn State, okay? You're not a free agent coach. Like, you are attached to a program that has a very dark, disturbing history. What you want to do is make it about we, not me. I want to distance my program, my university from this. Hey, guys, here's a statement read from James Franklin. We, as a university, want to distance ourselves from these guys. They're no longer here. There are legalities ongoing that I can't get into, so I can't. How many times do we see celebrities get in trouble, and then they're back out in the public eye, and they're asked about it, and they say, well, it's an ongoing legal thing. I can't speak on it. No one asks follow-ups to that because you can't speak on it. James Franklin could easily say, these guys are no longer with the program. We're letting the legalities play out. That's all I can say on it. I'm here for Wisconsin questions. Boom. In that moment, you're accountable. You're protecting your program. You're not allowing history to repeat itself as it pertains to cover-ups or plausible deniability. I don't have anything to do with it. Yeah, you do, bruh. I think this was a missed opportunity for James Franklin, and I'm a big fan of his, which is why I'm very passionate about this. And let's go back to the field. He hasn't won big games already.
Yep.
Like your ass is already on the hot seat. It's preheating for you, bro. Mm-hmm. And now you want to separate you from this, but you don't want to separate the program from this. That's a problem. This is a red flag. Another one. James Franklin can't win a big game, and then this is terrible. It's a terrible look. I just don't think I don't know if he's the guy. I'll be honest. I think he may be in over his head.
They were charged with the felonies on Wednesday. Like, this was right after that happened. It wasn't – the university handled it right to suspend them and even to say it's, quote, personal matters, because it is personal matters.
It is.
I didn't know if they were innocent or guilty at that point, but they had to take care of that. They were charged with that on Wednesday. And then you just go up there and go, they were both suspended. They weren't with the team while they figured that out.
That's right.
They're no longer with the team.
That's right.
I'm going to let the legal
Distance
system
us.
play out.
Yes.
And the fact they were found guilty, I feel for the victims. And
That's
anyone's
right.
a victim of that, I feel bad for.
That's the other
That's
part.
all I'm going to say.
He didn't say
And then they ask a
jeez.
question and go, I just addressed it.
That's
There is
right.
a statement. Any questions you have? It does, like, where's the media training?
I agree.
Because it makes Penn State look bad.
Yeah.
Where's the media training for the SIDs in this?
Yeah.
For James Franklin? You're an adult. And you're not going to answer questions, whether you
That's
answer
right.
them or not, but you're going to go into your locker room and preach accountability
That's right.
to the 100 guys that are on your team.
Yeah.
While you're making millions of dollars a year.
How you don't have crisis media training at that school
Is beyond me.
is beyond both of us. And I'm telling you, bro, like, this could be – he already's not winning the big games.
Yeah.
Like, this is going to be a problem. And by the way, I mean, the victims. Dude, we're not talking about jaywalking here.
Yeah.
These guys didn't get picked up for traffic violations.
One of the worst things you could possibly do.
They didn't get a Dewey here.
Yeah.
Like, this is
Awful.
heinous stuff. Why wouldn't you want to separate your program from this?
Yep.
It's. I'm telling you, this is disturbing, and this will, I believe, just be another pelt on the wall when, not if, this guy is let go. They already haven't. We have 10 years of this guy losing big games.
Yep.
10 years. They've been trying to run James Franklin out of town, but the school likes him. They keep giving him all the money, and they keep him. But this, I'm telling you, this is going to backfire. He keeps losing. You got stuff like this. It's just a matter of time. They're going to run you out of there. They call it Happy Valley. Not for long for James Franklin.
And when he steps aside and he comes back like, hey, guys, any
Lame.
questions?
Lame.
Just like, are you ready now? And then they keep coming.
Lame.
And you heard someone off to the side say, only Wisconsin questions. It's like,
by the way,
you're an adult.
If I have a 5-star quarterback or linebacker or something in my house, and he comes to my living room,
good point.
My kid's not going to Penn State, but I'll let him come for a recruiting visit because I want to ask about that.
Yeah.
Hey, what happened that day? Blah 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 blah.
Why didn't you answer the question?
Why didn't you answer it?
And I'm gonna trust you with my son.
Right. Facts.
When you teach him accountability,
That's
you can't
right.
do it yourself.
That's right.
All right, let's turn to Sunday Night Football. Cowboys, 49ers. Niners right now, 4.5-point favorite. Total on this one at 46. Two struggling defenses, two big play offenses.
George.
I like that over. This is me getting right to the point. 27-21.
I don't know.
And that's just clearing that over. Look, both defenses have struggled, but both can score. Both can have the big play. They have the talent on offense. For the Niners, more questions. Life without Ayuk, but let's see if Jawan Jennings is playing. Ricky Pearsall's back. And the Cowboys are bad. The fact that the Cowboys are 4.5-point dogs in this one, this should be a 1.5, 2-point spread, but that's how bad they are. And Niners ain't doing any better. I mean, Dallas is 3-3 coming off a bye. Last time we saw them, they got their butts kicked by the Lions. And then the Niners are 3-4.
So you're going 27-21. Who do you got winning?
49ers.
Okay.
I cannot trust the Cowboys.
All right.
Maybe the only thing you could give is that the Cowboys aren't at home because they've lost every home game this year.
Yeah, you've got smoked at home.
Every single one.
Listen, George, I know you were born like not long ago, 2019. You're so young. Some of us were born back in the 90s, okay? And I'll be honest with you. Like, forever, my whole life, Cowboys Niners, are you kidding?
Oh, yeah.
Like, winner of that is going to the Super Bowl, or we even saw in recent years, this was a playoff game, and it was a great game. Remember, that was a game Dak and McCarthy mismanaged the clock and ran out of time all that.
I'm shocked.
Oh, of course. But I'm just saying, like,
yes.
it always has championship implications or playoff implications, generally. This is the first time in many moons that I can remember this game kind of not mattering. Like, I know it's like prime time.
I'm surprised it's Sunday night.
Why? It's two big brands.
I thought we'd get Commanders Bears.
Well, we should get Commanders Bears, but
But it's Cowboys 49ers.
I get why it's Cowboys Niners because of the branding.
The fact that I even question it.
Yeah, right.
Shows to your point.
Yeah, facts.
Weird.
It's weird. With that being said, I mean, bro, this is do or die for both quarterbacks, I think.
Yes.
Because Brock Purdy, I think, has more pressure in this game. You're at home. You're reeling. You're missing your best weapons. You're trying to get paid. You're trying to prove I'm the man. Mm-hmm. Well, okay. Lamar doesn't have the greatest receivers you've ever seen. Patrick Mahomes doesn't have the greatest receivers you've ever seen. We watched Tom forever not have the greatest receivers you've ever seen. Josh Allen doesn't have the I mean, you want to be elite in this league. You got to prove it without the best on the outside. Dak has CeeDee Lamb. I get it. He has weapons, but right now, Brock doesn't. So this is a big game for Brock Purdy. And then from a Dak perspective, I mean, the Cowboys, I think some of the problem with them is they're too Dak dependent. They could have got Derrick Henry. They didn't do it. That was a mistake, clearly. Mm-hmm. They really do. I love CeeDee Lamb, but I think they need another weapon outside of him that's a little more bona fide. Their offensive line in years past has regressed. Man, this comes down to the quarterbacks. I actually trust Dak more.
Crazy.
But I'm going to give Brock the benefit of the doubt because I think he's more desperate for it.
Yes.
You went 27-21 Niners. I'll go 26-20. I'm not going to be far off.
Ooh, push on the total.
I'll go 26-20 Niners. And Brock's got to be the guy.
This Niners offense, very different look than it will be. Again, no Brandon Ayuk. They put up 36 points on the Seahawks.
Yeah.
Seahawks defense is good.
Yeah, it is. They have weapons, though.
This Dallas defense is bad.
But they have weapons, George. That's the thing.
This is one of the worst pass defenses in the league for the Niners. The Niners are facing. Dallas is one of the worst pass.
Yeah, but they don't have guys.
But it's the system. If Juwan Jennings is back, look what he did when Ayuk wasn't in the lineup.
He's a complimentary piece.
Or Debo wasn't.
Juwan Jennings is not going to be Justin Jefferson.
This goes back to when you and I have gone head-to-head about Brock Purdy all the time.
Yeah.
And what do I come back to? It's Kyle Shanahan.
Sure. System. Next man up.
Who am I betting on? I'm not betting on Brock versus Dak. I'm betting on Shanahan versus McCarthy.
Fair.
Yeah.
All right. Well, we both got Niners. I'm going 26-20. You're going 27-21.
I'll change mine. 31-20. Niners win.
Oh.
Yeah.
Well, that's a drastic change, George.
I just went 31-20. I like that.
I can't go. I'm not there. I think it's going to be close.
Like if the Giants finish drives, the Cowboys would have lost that game. A 20-15 win.
They're a mess.
The Cowboys.
They blew it. Derrick Henry in the offseason was there to be had for pennies on the dollar.
No, they could have had Derrick Henry, where they need a run game, DJ Reader, where they need a run stuffer in the middle, and Stephon Gilmore, where they need an outside corner. They could have afforded all three of them. And all three of those guys, key contributors for very good teams.
And they didn't pay those guys because they wanted to give Dak all the money in the world.
And shoot, maybe they would have gotten Stephon Gilmore even cheaper because he was already in the building.
That's right. I feel like Derrick Henry, low-key, would have been cheap, too. He's not paid a ton of money.
Jarrah.
But it was for Dak. That's what it was. They want to pay Dak, they want to pay CD, and eventually they're going to pay Mike.
Again, it comes back to the moron that is Jerry Jones, where he waited to pay them.
Yeah.
After all these guys got paid.
Yeah.
Pay them right away. That's less guaranteed money you own.
Yep.
That is less money you owe overall over the lifetime of a contract, because the most recent guy to get paid is always going to be the highest paid, except for CeeDee Lamb because of Justin Jefferson. But you still gave CeeDee $100 million guaranteed. You gave Dak over $230 million guaranteed.
Yeah.
You wouldn't have had to have done that. You could have paid them both, had them long term. They would have been cost effective to an extent, and you could have afforded other free agents that you clearly need.
Yeah, I would agree.
Made no sense.
Hot take central here. I said at the time, they shouldn't even pay Dak. What they should have done is invested more in the backup quarterback role.
Yeah.
Let Dak play his contract out. If you work out a deal with him that's team friendly and fair to everyone, and you can actually do business, great. If not, you let him walk. You have a decent backup there. You draft a kid. Onward and upwards. We have money freed up to build the roster. I was saying that at the time.
Yeah.
Cowboys fans told me I was stupid. We love Dak. All right, well, good luck. What's that getting you now, return on investment? How's nothing sound?
Cowboys are 3-3 coming out of the bye. We both have them losing to the Niners. At Atlanta, loss. Philly, loss.
Well, coin flip, but probably loss.
Houston, loss. That would have them at 3-7. Losers of 5 straight.
McCarthy's gone.
Before they're on the road at Washington and then home versus New
McCarthy
York.
won't see the Washington game. By the way,
that Washington game, they'll probably lose because of the defense.
don't gloss over this. You lose to the Texans. The Texans have all the bandwidth in Texas right now. They're the hot shack in Texas, not the Cowboys.
That Texans game is low-key big.
That's devastating to Jarrah. He don't like that.
And then imagine they're losing to the Commanders before you play on Thursday on Thanksgiving Day National.
And you got embarrassed by them before.
You're coming off your coach getting fired.
Yeah, dog.
McCarthy's gone.
McCarthy's gone.
He's Travis Thomas. I'm George Balekji. This is Boston Has Ended the Chat in the PNC Bank Studio. Wherever you get your podcast, Spotify, Apple, Amazon Prime, please like, subscribe, download, rate, and review. If you're watching on Nesson's YouTube page, hit the subscribe button as well. We'd appreciate it. Give us a thumbs up. Leave a comment. When is Mike McCarthy fired? Email us, thechat@nesson.com, or give us a voicemail, 617-790-0928. Have a great weekend, everyone. We'll see you guys on Monday.